Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dumi's Daily Grind. My name is Dumi, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I want to speak about a topic that has become quite important for me. And that topic is the topic of uncertainty. And why I want to speak about uncertainty is because it is one of those topics that I have found really fascinating. In the past few months, I found myself in a place of uncertainty, and I've had the opportunity to speak to a few people about uncertainty and how uncertainty can relate to ego and finding serenity and a peace of mind and all of these changes that I am going through at the moment. So while trying to learn more about the space of uncertainty, I spoke to one of my mentors, and they mentioned a quote. They mentioned a quote that was I believe, written by Deepak Chopra, who is a well-known author and speaker in the field of holistic health and spirituality. And Deepak Chopra often discusses various aspects of uncertainty, consciousness, and well-being. And he does lectures and books and speaks on television and online. But he often emphasizes the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, and how this interconnectedness relates to my current experience of uncertainty, and I believe he may suggest that uncertainty is a natural part of life, and that our perception of uncertainty is influenced by our belief systems, our core values, and our consciousness, or collective consciousness. And he says that uncertainty is a fundamental aspect of existence, and rather than fearing the state of uncertainty, he believes that it should be embraced. It should be embraced because, according to him, it might be a source of growth and opportunity. So the way I understand this is, as I grow in life, I am discovering new things. I'm discovering new ways of doing things. I'm learning, and I'm growing on a daily basis. And because of that learning and practicing all of these lessons that I'm learning, it has put me in this space where change has become a constant, and change has truly become a constant in my life. I remember there was a time, and I shared this on Monday, I remember there was a time on my WhatsApp, I used to have this quote on my WhatsApp profile, and it says, change is the only constant. And I believe that quote is attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Heracleitus. And Heracleitus lived around 500 BC, apparently, and he was known for his ideas about nature, the nature of reality, and the fundamental role of change within the universe. I like this quote because it makes so much sense to me. I mean, bearing in mind that it might have sounded differently the way he said it, but obviously it's been translated into English and into this simple form. But I'm sure it's more complex than just change is the only constant, And the essence of this philosophy is really captured in this simple statement that emphasizes that change is inherently and a permanent aspect of our existence. It does sound like a paradox, isn't it? That something permanent is something changing. Change is the only constant. So let me get back to uncertainty. So in the last few months, a lot has happened in my life. Right now, I am recording this. I don't have a vehicle. I am having a case with the Ombud for short-term insurance regarding one of my other vehicles' insurance claims. I am finding myself having to deal with many, many small and large accidents and incidences that are happening around me. And I have come to understand and believe that truly, truly, if there isn't anything that I can do in my own power, I need to learn to accept all of these things that are happening and let them go and hand them over. And that will then allow me to do the next thing that is in my power that I can do. I can do what is in front of me right now and keep going and keep on doing what is in front of me while the universe exercises its power. There isn't anything that happens in God's world by mistake. There isn't such thing as coincidences. Everything happens because it happens, and because of all of these things that have been happening, I have been able to grow spiritually, and learn how the relationship between suffering and attachment and letting go and being in the space of uncertainty, which may lead to change. So how does this theory, how can I take this theory and put it into practice, so to speak? I have a really strong ego, and my ego it really enjoys holding on to what it knows. It really enjoys the easy way out. And when I say the easy way out, I mean, the mind will always revert back automatically to the solutions that have worked in the past. Because without that ability for the mind to do that, then our evolution as human beings wouldn't be where it is right now. So everything I learn as I grow, my mind remembers it. And if I've used certain things, certain solutions for certain problems, the mind will remember what works the best and will keep on reverting back to that solution because, it makes it easier. It becomes automatic. So now that I am putting in effort on a daily basis to grow my relationship with the power that is greater than myself, God, I am finding that I am inviting change in. I'm accepting change that is happening. And I'm understanding that for whatever reason, the things that are happening need to happen. I can accept that this is something that I cannot change in my life. I want to quote the full version of the Serenity Prayer as I do this. And the reason why I would like to do that is because I am using this prayer very often as practice, of acceptance and letting go and all of that thing. And this full version of the Serenity Prayer, a lot of people are very aware of the short version, and the short version literally goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And this prayer is quite powerful. It's really, really powerful, because all I'm asking for is serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, And then I'm asking for the courage to be able to change what I can. And most importantly, the wisdom for me to know the difference between the two. And the full version of the Serenity Prayer says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be responsibly happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next life. Amen. And I use this prayer as a source of strength, as a source of guidance, and a source of reflection, and I use it really regularly right now because I am going through times of difficulty. And these times of difficulty that I'm going through are not material related. They are related to my spiritual growth. And because of the spiritual growth, it's leading me to uncertainty, and it is the cornerstone of the 12-step philosophy that I've spoken about on my podcast various times. And it has become valuable for me, as it is a message of acceptance and a message of courage and a message of seeking wisdom, so that I am able to navigate the challenges that life throws at me, and I don't view those challenges as problems anymore. I view those challenges as stepping stones. They are stepping stones for me. And the reason why they are stepping stones for me is because I am now able to embrace uncertainty as a fundamental aspect of my life, the consciousness and uncertainty. Deepak Chopra says that this state of consciousness can affect how I perceive and respond to uncertainty. And while practicing mindfulness exercises, such as breathing and meditation and prayer, and, it can help my consciousness to navigate these uncertain times, with greater clarity and understanding, because I am present and I am aware of everything that is happening in front of me right now, I am able to consciously and intentionally make the necessary adjustments as I go. Chopra does draw some parallels between the principles of quantum mechanics and the nature of consciousness, and the uncertainty principle in quantum physics relates to my understanding of reality and how I can have the ability to predict the outcomes. I think there was an episode that I spoke about moving from intuition into intention, and how I have been using tools that have been given to me to start moving from unconscious incompetence all the way through where I believe right now I am in the stage of conscious competence, and trying to build my way into the unconscious competence where I am able to make the right decisions automatically without having to think about them, moving from that bad automaticity into a ideal automaticity where everything is happening correctly, unconsciously, intentionally, and automatically in the right way, So I need to embrace uncertainty, because uncertainty means that I am changing. Uncertainty means that I am growing. Uncertainty means that I am finding myself in a space where I am able to move forward, grow, but also accepting that I don't know where it is that I'm going, So how do I embrace uncertainty? I feel that based on all of this information that I've got, as a person, I need to embrace uncertainty because it gives me a chance for personal and spiritual growth. That discomfort of uncertainty, I have come to understand that it comes from my ego. It comes from my mind. It comes from my attachment to specific outcomes, which is derived from expectations, so that's what I know for sure, that my ego, my mind wants things to remain the same because it's easier for things to remain the same. And once I invite change into my life, then the ego is not happy with that. My mind is not happy with that. So it makes it uncomfortable for me to embrace change, So these specific outcomes and these expectations that I am referring to make it difficult for me to let go and to practice this art of letting go. Because why would I want to let go of these attachments that I've always had? Why would I want to let go of what I know, what I think I know? Why would I want to let go of what I own? Why would I want to let go of who I have become? And that is another attachment, is this identity that I have created throughout my adult life. I have created a certain identity and I'm attached to it. And now that I'm creating this change of physical and mental and spiritual growth, my ego is not happy with that because it's worked for me in the past, but it's no longer working for me. I have now realized that my life has become unmanageable purely because of these attachments, and I've been attached to my identity. Why must I proceed to be attached to an identity that doesn't serve me and does not serve who I would like to be today and who I'd like to be going forward? And I'm in the process of creating a new identity, and that's okay, you know. And letting go of these attachments is leading me to a greater peace of mind and a greater fulfillment with, with what I've got at the moment, a greater fulfillment with my circumstances, So I thought I should touch on these general ideas around uncertainty and just look some more into it. Perhaps just find out a little bit more about the space of uncertainty that is an indication of change and an indication of growth and moving forward, I do also have to acknowledge that what I've just spoken about, uncertainty, is not the same for everybody. The discomfort of uncertainty may not necessarily mean that the change that is coming is in a positive direction. I have to look at my life, my goals, where I want to be, what I've set in motion, and where I want to end up. And for me, this statement on uncertainty is true. And I'm grateful for that. And this whole year has been just a year of uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen, but I accept that I don't know. And that, for me, is good enough. And I am grateful for it. I am so appreciative that I find myself in the space of uncertainty, and really blessed that I am going through these changes, So if necessary, if I learn anything else on this topic, I will talk about it in another episode. But for now, I just wanted to be grateful, and show appreciation to my higher power for my growth. And it's so amazing that I can share this. I can share this with others. I can share this with myself, because I tend to forget when I make these kind of self-discoveries. I tend to forget when stress and anxiety and depression comes into play. So I'm going to keep this in my book of findings. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your constant support. I really, really appreciate you. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.